Welcome into the New Orleans Saints training camp show right here on CST. I'm Caroline Gonzalez, joined by Todd Graffagnini here at the Ochsner Sports Performance Center on Wednesday. The Saints are coming off of an off day on Tuesday, but returned back to practice today, and they surely look good, Todd.
Yeah, you know, Caroline, it's game week, and the guys are ready to start hitting somebody else.
Yep.
It's been a rather long camp. It's obviously been very warm as well, so you get into the grind of it, the day by day, the one practice rolling into the next. So a little bit of a break up this week, and that's really good news because they're ready to go at it.
Absolutely. Another guy of note that we saw out here today for the team is Emmanuel Butler. We saw him running up and down the sidelines. It's surely good to see him back on this field.
Yeah, he's missed 5 practices, and it's time for him to get back out. Now, if the pattern holds, what we saw when running back Latavius Murray and safety Marcus Williams were out, they were out here, they were in the indoor facility, then they came out, conditioned a little bit, but did not participate.
Right.
That's what we saw with Butler today. So if the pattern holds, I would expect tomorrow's closed practice, you're going to see him probably conditioned. And if you heard from Sean Payton earlier, hopefully he might be able to play in Friday's game.
Yeah, look, he's real close. We're hopeful he can play this Friday.
It was probably the hottest day on record here at training camp here at the Ochsner Sports Performance Center. We saw the guys going a little bit slower than usual, but we heard Sean Payton discuss why that was.
Yeah, interesting, and we'll hear the bite in just a little bit, but Sean Payton said there's a study and data that more soft tissue injuries occur after off days. So basically they start at the bottom and then kind of work their way back up. So again, for tomorrow, he said that they're going to condition a little further as far as getting ready for the game on Friday, but Sean Payton will talk about it a little more thoroughly than that.
Yeah, so today, obviously, it felt different. I think the one thing that helps is the first 40 minutes that we get started, we're stretching in there, we're going through our walkthrough in there. That takes, some learning. It's really not a full practice when that's happening. It's just the beginning of practice relative to stretch, walkthrough, and then look, you work to get acclimated. And so today, anytime we practice after an off day, it's always a beginning to ramp up day. So it's an alert injury day, statistically. The first day back, and we used to say they're fresh, they're ready, but if you looked at any of the studies, you see more soft tissue injuries following a day off. And so training, no different than in any other sport, is a sick. There's peaks and valleys. And so today's how long are we on the field? What are the drills we're doing? And we're alert that what the challenges can be. Now tomorrow a little bit more, and then you do the same thing and you start again. So, but it felt different today.
A new addition to the Saints roster is tight end Jared Cook. We heard from Dan Campbell last week talk about Jared Cook. He's a new toy. He's a new weapon for Drew Brees. He can throw it to his back shoulder, and he's going to go up there and get it. Todd, we saw Jared Cook out here today. He looked pretty impressive.
I tell you what, he's going to have a big year, and I hope I'm not going out on a limb here, but he looks like he's been in this offense for years and years. The chemistry is already there with Drew Brees, and he continues to get downfield and get these big gains. He's a big, physical guy, 6'5", 250, but he can run. Like I said, Saints fans are already fired up to see him.
Let's go ahead and hear what Jared Cook had to say.
It's going well. It's still about the same. It's still a lot to learn. We just keep installing and throwing more things in, but it's just going over it every night, repetition, and just getting to know. It's pretty much the little things. It's the little details that what makes this offense so hard, because there's so many of them to get. So it's just keep going over those and just knowing them like the back of your hand. As far as us growing up, it's coming. I think him and Coach Payton have done a great job at just being open with me about certain routes and asking how I like certain things, and just kind of picking my brain a little bit as well. So, it's going to continue to get better. It's going to continue to grow.
Coming up next on the New Orleans Saints training camp show on CST, we hear from linebacker A.J. Klein, who goes one-on-one with our own John DeShazier.
Back to the Saints Training Camp Report. I'm John DeShazier here on CST, and we are joined by Saints linebacker A.J. Klein. First of all, congratulations, new pop. Give us all the particulars here.
Little girl was born, 8 pounds 2 ounces, 19 3/4 inches. at 7:35 on the 27th. So my wife was a trooper. She did everything we asked, and she brought our little girl into this world, and we couldn't be more excited. And our little one, our son, 6 months old, and he's already a big brother. So we went from just us two to 4 of us in 6 months. So it's been quite the journey this off season for sure.
I'll tell you what, that's crazy. Now, we know that bachelorhood always, changes when you get married, and now married to fatherhood. How has that changed A.J. Klein?
Well, I think I've always had a purpose. I've always had a love for this game, but I think this game is providing me the opportunity to, one, provide for my family, and my family has now become my purpose. They're why I'm out here, to provide for them, but it's also nice to have the love for the game, but also have some little ones and a wife at home that you need to provide for.
You're one of the veterans on this defense. Your
crazy.
your third year here. You guys have made incremental, progressive steps the first couple of years. What kind of steps do you feel like you guys are poised to make this year?
I think we're getting ready to make a push. I think we've had bits and pieces these last 2 years of where we have been good. We don't want to be good. We want to be great, and we're going to shore up our third down, 2 minute, like things I've talked about before. But putting all those pieces together, because we've had games where we're really great against the run, we're really great against the pass, but I really feel like we really haven't had true complete games, not just 1 or 2, but I'm saying clusters like 5, 6, 7 games in a row where we put it all together. You know what I mean? So for us, we want to be top 5 in points allowed, top 5 in yards, top 5 in third down, top 5 against the run. I mean, we have these goals that we want to meet, and we're really close to meeting them. And you look at the margin in this league, you're talking about points. I don't know how many points we gave up, but it was like 1 or 2 points difference. Changes like 10 spots. So, I mean, we're close. And if we make those small adjustments, we're going to be a really good defense.
Now, this defense, as you mentioned, has progressed. How good can this team be? I know you have to always restart from the bottom from the previous year. Nothing carries over, and yet you look on paper. No games are played on paper,
Yep.
But if you look on paper, this seems to be a pretty formidable team.
No, I think so too. Somebody just told me before that we returned 10 of 11 of our top snaps, or people on defense that took the most snaps. So that's important. Obviously, having guys coming back that have been here, know the defense, allows us to play fast and obviously continue to grow and put new things in week to week. Offensively, we have the weapons, we have the young talent. Our offensive line is, if not the best, one of the best in the NFL, and obviously Drew Brees. You can't say enough about what Drew does, and he gives us an opportunity to win every single week. So it's just like on defense, like I said, we just all have to put it together with to play complete games. But also, I'm excited about the special teams unit as well. A lot of young guys that are competing for spots, and again, we acquired some playmakers in free agency and in the off season. So the sky's the limit. I mean, it's really up to us just to work and put it together.
Defensively, with this system remaining under Dennis Allen, how much more has he allowed you guys to progress and do different things now that you have a better knowledge and understanding of it?
I think we've progressed quite a bit in the last 3 years. I think when it comes to game planning week to week, obviously I think he's definitely open to hearing our opinions and thoughts of how we want to play things, and definitely adding new pressure packages or new coverages, obviously based on what we see. And obviously we're never going to do something that we're uncomfortable with, but he's definitely given us more leeway since this group's been together for, like you said, the last 3 years. We're starting to progress to more complicated things that's going to give offenses trouble. So I'm excited about that.
This could be as good a linebacking group as the Saints have had in quite some time, and especially with you guys returning for a second year as a starting unit. Yourself, Alex Anzalone, Demario Davis. Am I off base there, or because we've seen the best Saints linebacker group, but we've seen some groups since then also.
Yeah, I think when you look at our group, you can't just look at us three. I think you got to look top to bottom on how this group is put together. One, every single one of us are on the field, whether it's special teams, contributing, playing 4 phases, or getting snaps on defense, and that's what's asked of this linebacker group. And we have one of the smartest groups, I think, when it comes to playing the defense. And like I said, with DA letting us do some new things, we have a lot of smart guys, a lot of young talent. I'm excited about the young guys that have come in too. So top to bottom, we're a great group, and it's definitely going to be a next man up mentality if, God forbid, anything does happen. But we know how the season goes. It's a war of attrition, and every single person in this group is ready to play and ready to go.
Well, that's AJ Klein, fantastic father and great football player also. And we will be back after this break.
Welcome back to the New Orleans Saints training camp show on CST. Todd, we talked about the other day the special teams, that they were getting a lot of reps in the indoor. Today, at the Ochsner Sports Performance Center, we saw a lot of special teams unit, especially with the return game. We saw guys Austin Carr, Marcus Sherrills. We saw Cyril Grayson Jr. We saw a lot of those guys get a lot of reps in.
Yeah, and look, we're seeing more time devoted to special teams as far as period length and times that they're out there. So it's definitely a point of emphasis, and it has to be. Special teams is a big part of a football game, could be the difference between winning or losing. And I know a lot of people are excited to see kick returns and punt returns in the preseason games because they get the workout here, but you just don't really know what you've got. So it's going to be a big key as far as what we're going to see on Friday.
That'll do it for Wednesday's New Orleans Saints training camp show on CST. You'll hear from us tomorrow as a game preview as the Saints prepare to take on the Minnesota Vikings on Friday in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. You can watch that game on Fox 8 with our own Jonathan Vilma, John Stinchcomb, Joel Myers, and of course Megan Payton down there on the sidelines. That'll do it for today's New Orleans Saints training camp show on CST. Thanks for tuning in.